Everybody to the fourth round of the lower bracket here in the Vortex closed qualifier for ECC9. We are about to watch HWU Esports versus TT willhaben, and things are getting really spicy now in the lower bracket. Teams are just 2 matches away from potentially being in the Vortex in this upcoming season. TT willhaben lost in the final round of the winners bracket 3-1 to Dano Chief, and this is their first match in the lower bracket. HWU Esports have had to go on a little bit of a run to get here. They've beaten Domino Esport 3-0 and 3 Croats, 1 Serb 3-1 to get here. So they've got a little bit of momentum heading into this one. But as with the previous series, I am joined by Broken.
Yeah, hello, I'm back again, and we're up to a very exciting match right here. You said it before, willhaben just dropped out. They had the opportunity to already qualify, so they be going to this series with some heat. Maybe they're a bit of anger, maybe it will be represented in their playstyle. We don't know that. And on the other side we have HWU Esports, who are pulling up some quite impressive lower bracket run, and will for sure have the guts to still continue and to clutch through that next round.
Yeah, there's a real desire to win from both sides in this series based on the results that they've just been through. HWU Esports, because of their consecutive match wins in the lower bracket, they've had to come a fair distance to get this far, so they're certainly not want to going out now. And of course, TT willhaben losing in the final round of the winners bracket. They were just 2 wins away from getting themselves to the Vortex, and now they are 2 whole matches away getting into the Vortex. So they're going to have had a little bit of a mental setback, but they've had to wait a little while for this one, so hopefully they are ready to go ahead of this series.
Yeah, not to forget, we've seen both these teams actually play last season in the Vortex. Willhaben under the name Meh. However, they replaced 1 player, I believe, and they're playing with the sub, so that's really impressive that they got to this point, and we'll see how that will turn out in this probably the most competitive series besides the loss against Dino Chief.
Well, I believe all the players are present in the lobby, so do you have any predictions as to how this series is going to go?
I kind of believe that willhaben will clutch that out. They had one of the most strongest opponents in this whole tournament, which was Dino Chief, and they still pulled off a game with their sub. So playing here against HWU, on the sheet a bit less damaging team, one could say. So it's going to be like a 3-1 for willhaben, I believe.
Well, I've seen a couple of these players in this lobby play before, but not the entire teams. But I'm going to stick with my guns from the previous round because Dutchies Esports did get the win. I'm going to say that in terms of the bracket of these close qualifiers, HWU Esports have had to play more matches to get to this point, and they're going to be warmed up ahead of this one, having played more recently than willhaben. So I think they're going to carry that momentum into this series and get a 3-1 win of their own.
Reasonable. Okay, we are ready to go. Players are joining. I'm getting excited. One of the most competitive matches we'll see on stream today, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, very harsh that one of these 2 teams is going to be going home after this round. It is winner moves on, loser is eliminated from the close qualifiers, and we are underway as Futura takes the ball forwards from their defensive corner. Crimsic helped it on, and now Hypnotics from the left wing. They had an opportunity to centre it. HWU was up there to make the block. Futura missed that one. NKS will step into the play themselves, and Futura recovers from the sideboard to send it further forwards. HWU was thinking about the bump, but Futura took it forwards themselves on a solo rush. Grimzik from distance, it's a wide open net, surely, and they do make it 1-0 to HWU Esports.
Yeah, it came off a physical play. I'm not sure who did that great demo. I think it was Akira, and that created so much space, which Crimsic could use to beat this opponent and score an open net.
So 1-0 to HWU Esports. 30 seconds into this one, we do have an early goal in this series, but will there be a response from the kickoff? Futura was bumped into it, and they took Hypnotics out of the play as well. That is superb reaction time there, taking the bump from behind and using that to create an offensive play of their own to tie the game.
It was Akira who had the good idea to bump Futura there, but unfortunately his reactions were way too quick, so he could pull off he still could pull off a good bump right there.
Ekara now from their own half. Futura gets a touch on this. HWU will have to get up to try and make the interception as Crimsic is lurking on the left wing to try and centre this one for who? Hypnotics takes over. Team bump there between the willhaben players in their defensive third. They're going to have to watch out for those over the course of this series. The quality of these two teams is so high, you can't afford to make a single mistake.
Yeah, that was actually the second team bump we saw before, so maybe the synergy is a bit off, maybe they weren't preparing that much for that game, so the momentum from who came in clutch, as I've mentioned, that Crims had the great opportunity but just sent it a bit too high. By Crimsic again. Long clear to the side. Hypnotics let it boom for his team. Ekara. They're rotating back because Ali sends it high. Hypnotics deciding to not go for that second one, or pretty much dead in the midfield unless Ali can create a chance for his team. And it was a decent attempt, but now Ekara just sending it fly, and yeah, the game pretty much slowed down from these two goals far on.
Yeah, the two goals happened in very quick succession, and since then things have slowed down a little bit. And Crimsic is one of the players that I recognise in this lobby, and they look like the focal point of the HWU Esports attack. That is a huge dangle there from NKS, but they are demoed for their troubles by Ekara. That could have been an opportunity for willhaben going the other way. Instead, they are back in their defensive half. Pinched into the middle by Hypnotics, but that one will float over the net and not challenge the defenders. HWU clears. Crimsic misses that one. Ekara will bank this off the right wing, hoping for a follow-up touch. NKS gets to it instead as we're at the halfway point of this game one, and there hasn't been any attempts on goal in quite some time from either of these teams.
Yeah, both teams taking their time, making sure that the chances which they are able to create are going to be very dangerous, because if you're just trying to shoot it past the defender every single time, then you're just going to waste boost on your own, and you want to make sure that the shot you take is a goal. So we'll see if we see more passes to get these chances.
Oh, and this is a chance for HWU, but that one rings off the backboard. NKS tries to put it back in for Futura, and they had to really stretch to get a touch on that one as the pass was a little bit offline. NKS now lays the ball off for HWU. It comes off the ceiling. Ekara clears it over to the wing. Futura will step up into this play. Hypnotic sends it all the way clear. Ekara is up for this one. Do they have the angle? Off the backboard. HWU clears over to the wing, and the pace is beginning to quicken as time ticks down in this game. The intensity looks to have ratcheted up, as I think both of these teams realise the situation that they're in.
Yeah, and that was a close call for willhaben there. If Ekara just had a bit more boost to get this double touch, Crimsic with the missing defense will give willhaben some time to create a chance. Futura with the infield pass, looking for NKS. The pass a bit too far. Now Ali has to make a turn and get it past the first line of attacking. Nodix gets the flick past the first guy, but NKS is there. And NKS pretty solid in defense. He's the one making sure that nothing really dangerous will happen, and we'll see if a chance can be created right here, maybe.
NKS does beat one defender, and HWU will follow that up to put willhaben in front with 46 seconds to go in this game one, and a rare attacking opportunity has come off the fake from NKS. HWU was in there to follow it up and smash it into the top right corner. Nicely worked goal there for willhaben, and they're going to have an opportunity to defend a lead now, and there's not too much time on the clock.
Yeah, this was NKS, the defensive anchor, actually creating this huge chance, and Crimsic with the clutch demo, otherwise this would have been an open net. Futura with the shot attempt, great placement by Crimsic once again. Gets the clear off the goal line to keep HWU alive in this series. Futura slowing things down, Edu taking his time to get a low air dribble. And with 20 seconds to go, who needs to get some possession on this ball, otherwise this first game will go in favor of willhaben. And yeah, Edu just thinking faster, I believe.
Well, with 11 seconds left in this game one, that looks like it will be an unassailable lead, as HWU Esports haven't had too many opportunities to score since the first couple of minutes of this game, where they were the stronger team. willhaben have just taken control of things, and now they will let the sand timer run down. Grimzik will get it over to the right wing and must score right now if they're to have any hope of getting back into it, but that one was headed for the crossbar, and MKS will clear it away. Willhaben take this game 1 3-1.
And I saw parallel roads to the series before, like just comparing both game ones, and with the only difference being the game speed. Both teams are much speedier on the field and therefore are able to be more in terms of creating chances, not relying on just mechanical plays or physical plays. So second game, I believe who will have to change their playstyle a bit to keep up with willhaben, but yeah, I'm just excited to see if we will see game 5 potentially even.
Interesting stat line for MKS on the willhaben lineup. 3 assists in that game, figuring into all 3 of the goals that willhaben did score in the opener of this series, and you don't see that too often, one player specifically pushing themselves to make passes as opposed to the more well-rounded play style that you'll typically see where goals and assists sort of come naturally to all of the players, but the NKS was producing high-quality passes, and it did show in that game that willhaben took the 3 goals that they needed to win. But we are underway here in Forbidden Temple here in Game 2 as HWU Esports find themselves 1-0 down in the series and looking to get back into it. It's Akara from the ceiling, and that will be cleared out by NKS.
Yeah, NKS already starting off with the save. Now Alyu booming it, NKS being able to keep the ball up. Alyu really close read there, but the net is still open and Futura gets it past Crimzik on the net, who had to pre-jump that. And yeah, the touch from NKS onto the back wall, shooting it high, and even though Alyu wasn't able to get in contact with the ball, Futura was there to secure this goal.
It's a nice finish there from Futura. They put it back across the goal into the area that the defender had just left. They had the entire net to shoot at, but well placed in that you put it where you know the defender is not going to be, even though they're there when you take the shot. It's just that Vortex level of finishing that a lower ranked player doesn't really see in time. NKS now from distance might have their first goal of the series. They hit the post, and that is a big let-off for HWU Esports, who are in danger of being put out of contention in this game pretty early on if they concede another quick goal. We're approaching the minute mark of this one. Akara from the right wing gives the ball away to Aliu. Grimzik should get this back in the back left corner, will pick up the corner boost. Comes under some pressure from NKS. Aliu got the demo on the far side. Grimzik will get this one downwards. Hypnotics with the shot. Aliu steps into the play and blocks the shot at the source. Real chance there for HWU Esports to equalise, but it still looks like the willhaben are in control of this game.
Yeah, they do. They are having boost control. They know what will happen if... Oh, is there disconnect? Okay, never mind. Crimzik with the chance. But NKS is there. No, willhaben have boost control and they are very well aware when they have to strike. So there's NKS pushing upfield. Nearly gets the dunk, but the ball is very dangerous now. Futura couldn't get it past Akira, who's creating a counter opportunity. Aliu has to clear it up high, but Hypnotics should be able to get a shot. However, Futura was still there to save his mates from that attempt.
Grimzik should get this ball back on the right side and will look to centre it, but Ali was up there very quickly to alleviate the danger. Now Hypnotics to take over, tries to carry the ball underneath NKS, and I think for HWU Esports, I talked about Route 1 not being a good thing in the previous series, but I think that the team in orange just need a little bit more of that. Be more direct, get more shots on target. willhaben a little bit too comfortable at the back at the moment, and very creative headed the other way as the flick goalwards had to be stopped by Crimzik, flying across the goal mouth. In midfield now, Hypnotics gets a demo but can't get the block on Aliu's attempted clear. Aliu keeps going here, pinches it towards the middle, that one straight across the net, and we're at the halfway point of game 2. It's still 1-0, the sole marker in this game coming for Futura and willhaben.
Yeah, you can see their tactics is to be more patient, to actually give some space to the opponents. However, if willhaben still continues to efficiently use these spaces to get past the first attacker's line and to give it those crucial 50-50 wins in the middle, and especially with flip resets coming that from Futura, you have not only the positional awareness, which gives them an advantage, but also some mechanical plays coming in to help them win this game and potentially the series even.
NKS tries to tap this one downwards, but Hypnotics will send it goalwards. Easy save made by Futura as there are under 2 minutes to go in this game. Okara tried to get the shot on target, and there might be a 2-on-1 headed the other way here for willhaben, and NKS will rush towards the defender to make the demo, and who can't react to that in time. And it's 2-0 now to TT willhaben with 1 minute 31 to go. They're looking good in this game. Their performance just seems to continue to improve over time.
Yeah, and NKS once again stepping up, clapping Hypnotics out of the goal line, so that Futura would just have an open net, which she scored, and that might become a theme which we'll see more and more often. Futura going for a double tap, not actually, because Oli was still there to get a read, but demo plays are becoming more and more meta, and the willhaben is still able to pull them off, then the series will end faster than we hoped, and especially if the sub is stepping up to clutch goals like these, it's looking really scary.
What a shot that is from Futura. Had control of the ball all the way towards the net and then got the extra touch that they needed to beat the defender on the goal line, and willhaben very much in control of this game too. It's looking very tough for HWU Esports right now, and I think we both expected a really tightly contested series at the beginning of this one, but HWU Esports just haven't gotten going, and maybe that is a result of fatigue. They've played a whole bunch of matches tonight, 2 more than willhaben, I believe, and maybe that's just beginning to get to them now.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's the fatigue, but it's getting really tough opponents after maybe playing against some unexpected lower teams in the losers bracket. However, Crimsic still showing hope in that game, even though it's 2 goals down with roughly 40 seconds still to go. So at this point you want to try to get some more goals going and to gain some confidence to potentially pull off that reverse sweep.
Well, 30 seconds to go, and there is still the hope of a comeback for them perhaps in this game if they can get one pretty soonish and give themselves an opportunity to carve out a third. Hypnotics downwards for Crimsic. Oh, and Crimsic doesn't even get the shot off there. That was a must-shoot opportunity. Crimsic will get it back again though and keep the ball moving for HWU Esports. Sends it goalwards across the goal mouth, and NKS made the save. HWU gets this clear with 10 seconds to go. Okara from their own end gets bumped on the way through, and that should be it now for TT willhaben as Futura will get some more time off the clock. And there is the 1 second mark, and no matter what happens now, TT willhaben will be 2-0 up in this series and 1 game away from the final match of these close qualifiers.
Yeah, it was a really convincing win as well. Even more presence shown in the upfields, in the midfields. And willhaben are looking to clean sweep HWU out of the tournament and out of their hopes to qualify for the Vortex, even though they were present last season. So that just shows how the whole level of competition rises for this season.
Well, it would be a real rough way to go out of the Vortex closed qualifiers. You already mentioned the quality that both of these teams have with previous experience of playing in the Vortex, and HWU Esports in their lower bracket run, they've only dropped 1 game to 3 Croats, 1 Serb with the sweep victory over Domino. So this is an entirely different battle for them as they now face a reverse sweep if they are to get themselves into the next round, and TT willhaben look very confident. I think the only way that HWU gets back into this is if they score the first goal in this one.
Yeah, scoring the first goal and being able to rely on that goal with a solid defense would be maybe the key of success right here, but Futura already kicking off things fast, and NKS once again doing the work, so the goal is put in there. Akira just a bit too far away to get that save.
Just 7 seconds into this one. Well, very briefly talked about the importance of the first goal, but we didn't even really have an opportunity to start casting the game as TT willhaben got on the board so quickly, and HWU Esports are playing with fire in their defensive third at the moment as they go for a clear right across the front of their own net. Okara will get this clear to halfway, but NKS will send it back, and HWU is in there. but puts their shot wide of the left post. The warning signs are really flashing for HWU Esports right now. They're in danger of going 2-0 down in this game. NKS look to lay it off for Futura, and HWU quickly into the play themselves to get it into the centre, but now Hypnotics carries it in the other direction. Just one defender to beat. NKS recovers on the far side to clear it over to the left. Brimzig looks for Hypnotics to direct it onwards, gets the double tap as well, and Okara is there. Great positioning from them as they needed that extra touch to tie the game up for HWU Esports.
Absolutely, Crimsic there, passing it to his mate, and after Hypnotics wasn't able to put it in for himself, Okara was there to clean up this goal, and it was very much needed because we haven't seen that much from HWU till now, so maybe this will get them going.
HWU now from distance looks for NKS. NKS gets it back down, and HWU hit the crossbar with the shot. And despite conceding the equaliser, the attacking chemistry is clearly not left TT willhaben's gameplay. Futura looks for the bottom left corner with that banger, but Hypnotics makes the stop. Grimzik will get this one goalwards, NKS clears it out. Okara puts it back into the mixer, and NKS is quickly onto that play. HWU will chase this down the pitch, and Grimzik had to get across there to make the save. The pace of this game has really picked up from game one of this series to now.
Yeah, the players are starting to feel themselves, especially on the half of willhaben, who have a 2-game lead advantage, so their confidence must be pretty much over the roof. So we'll see even more chances being created. However, who are very more competitive in this game compared to the last two. Futurama are taking his time. The sub who steps up in the series, who had, I believe, some 5 goals throughout this whole series already.
Hypnotics hits the bar. Huge chance for HWU Esports. They're not done yet though. Crimsic puts it back in. Futura has to make the clear. This one is going to fall for Okara to get back. And it's cleared out by HWU, and now they will chase it into the opposition half. Futura looks to tap it into the centre. Hypnotics rotated to the front post and now has an opportunity to get it out. HWU puts it straight back in. 2 players over there for HWU Esports, and Futura will look to run into some space on the opposite wing. HWU off the wing. Futura has HWU in the middle as they work it into the centre, and that's going to be Futura's goal. I'm not sure what the defender on the goal line was doing there, but it's a bit of a gift there for willhaben.
Yeah, he was caught off guard. He thought he had the time to push up into that corner, but Futura just hitting that angle and making sure it goes in without assistance from his mates. So that's a 1-goal restraint again for willhaben right there, and they are really in a comfortable position right there.
Hypnotics loses out to Futura on this one, and if TT willhaben get another goal at this stage of the game, that is going to be very bad for HWU Esports. Futura had a chance to do just that. Okara will clear it out over to the opposite side where Crimsic is waiting to collect it. Cuts it back infield looking for Hypnotics in the air, but NKS saw that one coming from a fair way off. So TT willhaben do get the ball back. Futura, HWU, NKS! What a goal! All 3 players involved in the passing play, and it's 3-1.
Beautiful stuff coming from willhaben. It's Futura who saw Audio on the back wall, and Audio just passing to NKS, who gets a clean shot. No matter where he puts it, it's just with the speed it will surely go in. And 2 goals difference, and who are falling apart. NKS gets another shot attempt, but Hypnotics was there to save it. Now Hypnotics tries to put it in, far shot against the post. Crimsic with the follow-up shot couldn't quite get it, and also Okara not hitting the angle he would have needed to still be in this game. Futura getting a good 50 in the midfield. NKS getting past defender line. Hypnotics has to make the touch, but Futura is there to clean it up. However, Hypnotics still gets the save.
Wow, Hypnotics bails themselves out there. That was a real chance at goal for Futura, and that really would have put the game to bed at this stage. As it is now, 2-goal deficit. It's not terrible for HWU Esports, and it's doable, but they are right where they don't want to be at the moment as Futura gets that one off the backboard as willhaben are applying the pressure. Crimsic, fakes out NKS, they've got Aliu to beat as well, wins the 50 and keeps going. Hypnotics will take over, nicely worked down the left wing for HWU Esports. Can they get it all the way into the middle? No, NKS gets that one clear and Futura will take over. Doesn't have much boost to work with, picks up the middle, leaves it over for Aliu. Futura gets it back, Hypnotics makes a save to keep their team in the Vortex closed qualifiers. Crimsic will try and send it the other way as we're approaching the final 30 seconds, but this 2-goal lead for willhaben remains intact.
Futura could have closed it just out there, but he tried to be fancy with that fake. However, with only 20 seconds to go and a comfortable 2-goal lead, that won't be decisive. And Futura gets another shot now, Hypnotics onto Crimsic, and if he get... Nah, he does not, and yeah, with 10 seconds and 2 goals, I'ma just call it a serious win for willhaben. Congrats to them.
And they do have the ball in the opposition third, and those few precious seconds that willhaben needed to be spending in the other end of the pitch come to pass, and willhaben 3-0 sweep here at this stage of the lower bracket qualifiers. Not the result that we expected coming out of this series. Huge performance from them to come all the way to the 5th round and final round of the lower bracket. They were the better team from start to finish in this one.
And remember, that was the lower bracket, and they came with such a strong firepower against another, well, now ex-Vortex team. So it only shows the state of this competition, and with the next game that we will have to go on, which will be a decider, I'm just really curious to see if even then the competition will step up and the quality of games will only rise.
Well, there are just 2 more places available in the Vortex to be fought for as we are into the final 3 matches over all of these Vortex closed qualifiers, and there are just 5 teams left active in the competition now. TT willhaben are one of them, and they will move on to face Penguin Snorkelers in the lower bracket final round. But we are headed over to the other fixture very soon, as Visu Gaming are awaiting the winners of Blizzard Wizards versus Dutchies Esports, who we saw beat Vetranos 3-1 in the previous match. But as we wait for that, we will head into an intermission. So don't go anywhere, because when we are back, we will watch 2 teams go head to head for a place in the Vortex.